Big moves on the horizon. Arsenal close in on Noni Madueke, Zubimendi's potential arrival gets fans buzzing, and what's going on with Gyökeres? All the latest transfer drama, right here. Let's break it down. What Noni Madueke did after Arsenal transfer breakthrough speaks volumes for Chelsea decision. What Noni Madueke did after Arsenal transfer breakthrough speaks volumes for Chelsea decision. Noni Madueke transfer news as the Chelsea winger continues to play at the Club World Cup despite talks with Arsenal over a move. Noni Madueke has firmly lost his place in the Chelsea team. From being relegated to the makeshift left winger, he is now out of Enzo Maresca's best starting 11. Having entered the Club World Cup with his spot in doubt, Madueke started 2 of the 3 group games. Chelsea won both of those without conceding, but Madueke would struggle to argue he was at his best in either. Instead, Maresca continued his trend of preferring Pedro Neto on the right. As was the case in the final month of the main season, Madueke was tasked with operating on his weaker left side. Mykhailo Mudryk's suspension and Jadon Sancho's failed permanent transfer meant Madueke entered the Club World Cup with only Tariq George as genuine competition on the wings. However, Chelsea have since signed Jamie Gittins and João Pedro. Gittins is unable to play in the Club World Cup after being named in Borussia Dortmund's squad for the competition, but Pedro has come straight in. He played 40 minutes as a substitute against Palmeiras in the quarterfinal and was then thrown in to start on Tuesday. Pedro took advantage of Nicholas Jackson's extended red card punishment, now one from Maresca rather than FIFA, and Liam Delap's enforced absence due to a yellow card ban. He scored twice in a 2-0 win to book Chelsea's place in Sunday's final. For Madueke, these could be his last games as a Chelsea player. Arsenal are in talks to sign him, having already agreed personal terms over a move earlier this month. Chelsea are open to selling the 23-year-old with his 2025 form dipping. Maresca will also have Estevao Willian joining his side on the right flank and Giovanni Quenda to follow next year. Another attacker coming in has not been ruled out either. Despite Madueke considering his future, Maresca has not felt it necessary to totally cut him from the squad. As mentioned, he was involved against Palmeiras and once more played in the Fluminense clash. The game was still in the balance when he was introduced alongside Pedro against Palmeiras. Madueke almost scored as he crashed a shot against the post late on. His appearance in the afternoon New York sun at the MetLife Stadium was much less impactful, with several failed dribbles and nothing much to shout about. However, it speaks to Maresca's trust in Madueke that he is still being used at all. The same goes for Christopher Nkunku, who has been widely expected to leave. Zubimendi analyzed what he'll bring to Arsenal. He has been compared to Sergio Busquets, Xavi Alonso, and current Ballon d'Or holder Rodri, but Martín Zubimendi has quickly made a name for himself over the past couple of seasons. Since breaking into the Real Sociedad midfield in 2020-21 following the departure of stalwart David Zurutuza and Martin Odegaard's loan spell ending, the 26-year-old has become one of his homeland's star players. And having played a starring role in helping his boyhood team reach the Champions League alongside Mikel Merino, the duo then went one better by helping Spain lift Euro 2024. Rodri's departure at halftime could have been pivotal, but Zubimendi proved to be a more than adequate stand-in. He completed 24 of his 26 passes, won all 5 of his duels, and no other player made more tackles than him during his time on the field as he steered his country to more silverware. Rodri is the best midfielder in the world, the victorious Spain coach Luis de la Fuente said afterwards, but Zubimendi is the second best. Martin gives you everything you ask for and has a fantastic talent. He's a guarantee, totally reliable. He always plays calmly, unhurried, and every decision is the right one. And the stats back that assumption up wholeheartedly. Zubimendi loves to be on the ball, orchestrating the tempo and rhythm of the game, and was ranked 4th in La Liga for passes 1,752, successful passes 1,479, and touches 2,197. He was also involved in 1,284 open play passing sequences in 2024-25, the third most among all defensive and central midfielders in La Liga. Those numbers were despite playing in an injury-ravaged Sociedad side that finished a disappointing 11th, making his numbers all the more impressive. For context, the Premier League players who found themselves in the most passing sequences last term were Moises Caicedo, Bruno Guimaraes, and Ryan Gravenberch, a trio Martin will be relishing battling with in the coming months. And of those 1,284 sequences, 337 involved him starting one of them, which showcases his penchant for winning the ball back before allowing his teammates to switch defense into attack. When he does find himself with time to pick a pass, Zubimendi has the ability to unlock whatever is put in front of him. Only Real Madrid trio Luka Modric, Federico Valverde and Aurelien Tchouaméni produced more line-breaking passes through midfield than he did, with 147 sent into the final third and 29 splitting defenses, which could be hugely valuable in trying to break down low blocks. While he is first and foremost a defensive midfielder, there is further proof that Zubimendi is more than adept at making his influence known at the cutting edge of attack. Last term he averaged 16.7 open play passes forwards, 14.0 to the left and 15.5 to the right every 90 minutes, showing he can scan all the options and keep the opposition guessing. Arsenal reach Noni Madueke agreement with transfer now one step away. Arsenal and Chelsea have entered talks over a fee for Noni Madueke after the England winger already agreed personal terms with the Gunners despite being at the Club World Cup. Arsenal have opened talks over a deal to bring England winger Noni Madueke in from Chelsea with personal terms on a 5-year contract already agreed. And as first reported by The Athletic, Madueke, 23, is keen on a switch to the Gunners but remains with Chelsea at the FIFA Club World Cup. Chelsea's initial asking price for Madueke is £50 million, but it is unclear whether there is scope for a smaller fee to be agreed. He moved to Stamford Bridge from PSV Eindhoven in January 2023 but was dropped by Enzo Maresca last season in what was described by the head coach as a technical decision. Mikel Arteta has already welcomed Kepa Arrizabalaga in from Chelsea this season, and Martín Zubimendi has also linked up with his playing squad, while they remain in advanced talks with Sporting Lisbon for the centre-forward Viktor Gyökeres. Brentford captain Christian Norgard is also set to join, while there remains talk of an audacious swoop for Real Madrid star Rodrigo. Gyökeres' move to Arsenal is on the brink of collapsing according to reports in Portugal because the Gunners and Sporting Lisbon are struggling to agree a fee for the prolific striker. An Arsenal delegation include transfer chief Andrea Berta have spent the past 48 hours negotiating with their sporting counterparts after personal terms before the Premier League giants and Gyökeres' representatives were already agreed. But record report that a €5 million, £4.3 million, gap remains between the clubs. Arsenal are offering a package of €65 million, £56 million, plus future payments of €5 million and €10 million, £8.6 million, in add-ons. However, Sporting are demanding €70 million, £60 million upfront and are unwilling to budge. The outlet adds that Arsenal's negotiators are now heading back to England and the next few hours may be decisive, bringing either a breakthrough or seeing the entire deal collapse. Meanwhile, Arsenal have confirmed the appointment of Gabriel Heinze as their new first-team coach, with the former Manchester United fullback set to boost Mikel Arteta's brains trust. The ex-Argentina international has already linked up with the Gunners as they begin their pre-season preparations ahead of a renewed attempt to end their 2-decade wait for the Premier League title. Transfer rumor power ranking: Arsenal, Sporting's weird quibble over Gyökeres. Sporting are insisting on a fee worth less than the total package Arsenal have tabled for Viktor Gyökeres, who must be sick of this **T. With so much transfer talk doing the rounds, we're here through the summer to sift through the **T and highlight the whispers that might have some substance. Each day we're ranking the top 20 rumors involving Premier League clubs. The higher the link, the more likely we feel they are to become done deals. 20. Newbutton Andreas Christensen and Fermin Lopez, Barcelona to Liverpool. We love a double deal almost as much as a triple one, and this one will cost Liverpool £86 million if it happens. Which it won't. Next. 19. Downwards button Benjamin Sesko, RB Leipzig to Arsenal. Arsenal finally appear to have chosen a lane, one that takes them to Gyökeres' door. We would never rule out a sharp U-turn, but Sesko's hopes of joining Arsenal this summer have never seemed as slim as they appear right now. 18. Mark Guéhi, Crystal Palace to Liverpool. With a year left on his contract and a renewal unlikely, Palace are willing to cash in on their captain, but Liverpool won't pay the £50 million or so the Eagles are demanding. Currently, we are at stalemate. Liverpool don't seem twitchy yet, but they are keeping the lines of communication open. 17. Downwards button Jadon Sancho, Manchester United to Juventus. Sancho is refusing to leave any of the final year of his United salary on the table, which is making things awkward for everyone. And now we learn that the ex-England winger is currently an alternative option for Juve, while they prioritize Francisco Conceição, who is on loan in Turin from Porto. The old lady has a week to snare Conceição for a discounted fee of £25 million, but even that amount requires some negotiation. 16. Luis Diaz, Liverpool to Bayern Munich. Bayern were looking for a wide forward even before Jamal Musiala's injury at the Club World Cup. Diaz's willingness to move appears greater than Liverpool's intent to sell, so the Colombian may have to force the issue if he's really so keen to try something new. 15. Marcus Rashford, Manchester United to Barcelona. A re-entry into the top 20, carried on the back of Nico Williams signing a new contract with Athletic Bilbao. Williams seemed set for Barca, but despite appearances, the Catalans are clearly still dropping balls while juggling their finances. Barca's hopes of signing Luis Diaz appear dashed, which takes them back to Rashford, who will likely have to wait until late in the window, by which time United will have to accept the only way to get rid is another loan. 14. Evan Ferguson, Brighton to Roma. The Serie A club are ready to sign Ferguson on loan, according to reports. He spent the second half of last season at West Ham and did absolutely nothing. Brighton will hope he can realize his astronomical potential in Italy.